Podcasting from the Lone Star State in Southern California, you're listening to the Coma Podcast with Cody and Matt.
Hey everybody, and welcome to our live show. We are back once again on a Friday. Last week we were away because I was doing my theater stuff. It's theater season again, so I'll be doing reviews each month for theater shows around the area. So that was a lot of fun. It was fun to get out and do all of that again because it'd been a few months since I got to do it. So it was good, and it was a show I'd never seen. So that was also really exciting. Matt, how are you? School's done for the semester. I mean, not completely, but for the semester.
No, it is. For the semester, I am done. And I don't. My group doesn't have summer class available. Starting next summer will be available for all levels of students, but it doesn't help me because I graduate in spring. Otherwise, if they've been able to get the staffing together, I would have been able to graduate in December. And I'm like, ugh. What that means and why I'm actually lamenting that, because before you jump up and say, oh my God, the time, it's going to be over before you know it. Well, the board's exam for nurses changes for spring of 2023. My group, anybody that is going to become a nurse as of that semester, will be taking a brand new board's exam. Yay. So that's super exciting. So if I was going in December, I would be able to study off current materials and be able to work with people who've actually taken that NCLEX. It's called the NCLEX. But that will be my licensing exam. You've probably heard a lot about it in the last few years as nurses and medical staff have become front and center, going from heroes, which is usually what you call somebody before you sacrifice them, to people that they want to cap their salaries and abuse the crap out of them. So that's exciting. I am working. I am back to work, but I'm working in the hospital as a patient care tech. I'm sorry, my official title is nurse extern, which means besides patient care techs do things like, they can take vitals, take blood sugars, like little things like that, help patients to and from bed, and, all these like thousands of little things that they do know. There's a ton of knowledge patient care techs have. There's a nurse extern. The way it's explained is that I'm essentially a nursing student because I have a lot of privilege as a nursing student. I'm with a nurse. The nurse can say, hey, you want to do this procedure with me? And I can say yes if I'm checked off on it or I'm being supervised. So theoretically, that's what's supposed to happen. That's not happening. So my title and badge literally says nurse extern. And they very proudly tell everyone, oh, Matt is our nurse extern. I'm a care tech. That's it. I don't get to do any of my skills, so I'm essentially going to rot in a hospital and let them kick the crap out of me for a semester. Well, technically for the rest of the year. On that, they also have a contract program where if I'm willing to sign a contract, by the time I'm done, because I'll have been with them about a year by the time my boards are done, they will grant me 1 year of nursing experience as a brand new nurse because of my time as a nurse extern. And then also it would guarantee me a job, and I'd even be able to work on my own floor. I even did my clinicals this last semester on this floor. And when I got a job in this hospital, I was able to come back to my own floor as now an employee, it made the transition really easy because I already know where all the rooms are. I know where all the storage rooms are. I know what's in the storage rooms, which, by the way, if you're a new student or have ever been to a new job, when someone's like, hey, can you get that for me? And you're like, I have no fucking clue where that's at. Those little things.
Yeah.
I have to contend with. I will not be signing that contract. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's actually very important and something I think everybody has become more aware of. And what that is patient safety. And patient safety means everything from well-trained staff to patient ratios, which means how many patients to each nurse or doctor, like whatever that is. On my floor, they have recently increased the number of patients per staff. And when I told the HR lady, because she's like, you should sign this contract, we will, all these benefits. And I said, well, you guys just upped the ratio of patients to nurses, and I'm not comfortable with it. And she said, we won't let you fail. Now, you might have seen me. I did post this. David works in the same hospital as I do, and he started the week before I did. So he was present with me when I came in to get my badge because we just popped in on a day off to get my pizza taken and get my badge for work. So he's present for this whole conversation. He's like, please God, don't get fired before your first day. Because I don't have any, I think you all know, I don't have any loyalty to any company. My loyalty is to my patients and my own safety. Because if I'm not safe, it means I'm not making good safe. If I'm not making good safe decisions for myself, then I'm not making good safe decisions for my patients. Because if you don't do things to preserve your own health and safety and your own body, you're not going to be, if you're not lifting yourself properly, you're not going to be moving patients properly. So if you hurt yourself in the process of helping a patient, your patient's probably going to get hurt too. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. And the whole like problem in nursing, I mean, it just hits you really, really fast. It's very plain. During training, during one of my training classes, they were like, as a tech, you might be really busy. You might have 9 or 10 patients, because I'm not responsible for giving out medications as a tech. I have less responsibilities. I would like to say that actually it's more like 15 patients up to 25. So they routinely have one care tech on the whole floor. My floor is 30 beds, currently 25, because 4 of them are being repaired. Like one little wing is being repaired, and another one had some kind of like freak issue with a pipe, so they had that one's getting overhauled. But I work on a brand new floor that was just opened in December. They literally built the top 2 floors to this tower, and I'm in one of them, which is really exciting. And a whole bunch of my classmates work in this hospital too, which is also really nice.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that we keep in mind, as everybody's talked so much about nurses and medical staff and what they've gone through, and they've been through hell. They have absolutely been through the ringer in all the hospitals. They work so hard, despite a large number of their fellow staff leaving, becoming sick, either with long COVID or dying of COVID before a vaccine was available. Patient safety, like Joseph said, secure your own mask first. It is the same concept. I'm a foot taller than most of the nurses on the floor. So, for example, moving a patient, just to sit them up or roll them over, I need to raise the bed 6 inches. Well, most of them are pretty comfortable with it, where it would be the equivalent of somewhere between my knee and my hip. And like I said, I'm 5'10", so, I'm probably more like 8 to 9 inches taller, let alone David. David works on the floor below me. So, we basically need like a lift for the patients. But David and I do not work together directly. We requested that we would prefer not to. We're totally fine working together, but what it can mean is if one of us is sick, the other is likely going to be sick, because that's how living in a household works. So it's not a good idea for both of us to work on the same floor, because if one goes down, the other's probably going down, or is going to have to take care of the other. And we're like, we don't really want to put our jobs in that kind of... In previous jobs where we've worked in the same company or similar teams, we could have worked in the desk right next to each other, and we wouldn't have impacted each other's work. In this particular case, we do. Patient safety. But I did come through the semester with all A's and B's.
Good.
I just saw my GPA for the school. I'm sitting at a 3.6. I'm like, oh God. Because I want to be a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
For me to get accepted into a program like that right out of nursing school, it'll still take me a couple of years, because I want to chip away at the classes so I can gain that bedside experience to go with it when I'm ready to take those last couple classes.
Yeah.
You want to have over a 3.5 average, because it almost guarantees you an acceptance into some of the schools. 3.0 to 3.5, you have to write a letter. Thank you, Joseph. 3.6 is a fine GPA. Damn fine, actually. I'm very proud of myself, especially coming through nursing school and how hard it's been. The fact that I've only cried one time in the last year is a miracle. Now that the semester's over, I can tell you comfortably that I was crying eating Reese cups in my car in the parking garage at 8 o'clock at night. Jay, hot damn, how do I get to be that smart? Well, it is not natural intelligence. I struggle greatly because I have a learning disability, and ADHD is a beast to deal with. But I learned that at least 50% of my cohort of about 75 people all have ADHD. And I don't mean, oh, something happened over there, squirrel. I mean, brain running 100 miles an hour every other direction. So we all excel in clinicals because everything's coming at you 1,000 miles an hour and your brain just works. Sitting in class for 4.5 hours while someone's talking about bone infections and you're like, you know. But if you attach a video to it, or I can touch something or work on
Yeah.
something, it just it sticks to my brain very well. Um, it's been a challenge to say the least. I've not been in communication with literally anybody. The communication you see on Twitter is the most anybody sees of me. Like,
True.
I think today's the first day. I'm getting used to texting people again. Like, because if it
Get
doesn't
back
happen
into that mode.
if it doesn't happen within Twitter or Snapchat, I don't. My phone quit working yesterday for 3.5 hours, and I didn't know. My app worked, but my text didn't. And it wasn't until I texted David, my husband, and Keith, our roommate, in our, we've had a group chat for probably 4.5 years now. I sent a picture, and I noticed 2 hours later it was sending, and then I forgot about it again. So I, turn the Wi-Fi off, turn it back on, blah blah, the normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably 30 minutes after that, I was like, well, let me actually turn my phone off. And because I just assumed it was just a picture, and then I went to text somebody else, and I noticed that didn't go, and went, huh. So that tells me that if I've thought of using my phone and it's not working, that means somebody else has probably thought of my phone and it isn't working. So I turned it off, back on, and my phone went. And lo and behold, I had a text from Cody. So if you're wondering why I didn't respond for hours.
Yeah, guys. I also don't hear from Matt as much during school periods, and lately I haven't been on Twitter and I don't really do Snapchat. I do see Matt snaps, but I don't really do Snapchat.
It's mostly my cat. Honestly,
I know.
it's like my cats are some really frustrating opinion that I'm sure my family hates, and I'm like, and then so go ahead.
Yeah, well, and then I, like I was telling Matt this week, I've been like busy. Justin was out of town, and so I was like busy outside working and doing stuff. Because we like been working on the garden and redoing it, and we've added a lot. We've added a lot, and it's all like now trying to tie up all the like little pieces here and there to like kind of finish everything up and finish all the projects that we started up. And normally we could take our time, but his grandparents are coming next week ish, end of the weekend. And so it's kind of one of those things that everything needs to be done now, finally. Like it has to be done. There's a deadline. And so I've been outside basically all week working and finishing things up and painting things and moving things. Like my nails look horrible. They're like all chipped. But like I haven't wanted to redo them because
right,
like
well, you're
I'm like digging in dirt and like pulling rocks and things are getting chipped, and so I've been busy.
We put up a gazebo in the backyard and put in an inflatable hot tub, which, by the way, excellent plan. Excellent plan. Super exhausting to do. I actually put it up while David was away. He was on a short vacation. He was hanging out in Colorado with Dr. Jake. They were hiking and doing all kinds of fun shit. And it was so good because David did the 5 days of work, 2 days clinicals all semester. And because of my final schedule and everything, I couldn't go this trip. So it was like, well, why don't you just go? I mean, we travel without each other. This is not an abnormal thing. 6 days is probably longer than both of us are used to. But it was just sort of like, well, you have the opportunity. His semester, he has summer. So he started school in January and he'll go straight through. We'll finish school at the same time. So we're in different schools. So it was really good for him to do that. But when I woke up to the group chat of Keith finding a good sale, he puts it in the group chat. David's like, what a great idea. And I woke up to that going, man. So David thought I would be leaving it for him to do. And so I, surprised, did it in a whole evening. And with Keith. Keith was my muscle. And also the stand here, hold that. Because he has like huge arms. So we put them to work. Because it is a 2-person job. It's a 10 by 12 10 foot by 12 foot structure and multiple canopies on it to keep the bugs out and Yeah, Keith, I love planting seeds. You son of a bitch. Yes, you do. That's a lot of Chipotle and Panda Express per month because of him. Uh, but it's been nice. I do have schoolwork to do over the summer, not mandatory, but I do have the reading list for fall. And in the effort to not let my brain rust over from, all the knowledge I acquired, I like to say that my finals, my 2 theory classes, I got a 90 on one final, which is I scraped an A by one question, and I got a 94 on the other one. So I nailed down my highest scores again of my semester on my finals. My previous semester, I had 3 theory finals. I got an 80, 100, and a 98. So I'm like that is not my. I don't know how I'm doing this. And then on my standardized test I take every semester, I scored the highest level you can score. It's a score of 1, 2, 3, 3 being the highest. You need a minimum 2 to pass on the first try. You only get 2. And I scored a 3, which is the equivalent of a 90%, which allows me to do a little bit of a remediation where you just do like an hour or 2 review, do some paperwork, and basically gain 10 points. So I earned 100 on that, which it's 10% of my grade, and it's kind of all or nothing. So if you fail it twice, you lose all 10%. And if that drops you below 75%, you fail the class. I had a test average of 78 to 80. So, yeah, there's no way I could have survived. And then I ended up just knocking out of the park at the end, which is very stressful. Like, you're so here all semester that by the end, you're just sitting there staring at your test. Like, you're calm, but it's not because you have this, like, zen feeling of, I've got this. It's not even that you don't care. You do care. Your brain has just been at a 20 out of 10 for so long, it just can no longer process.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever seen me in person or know me well enough, I kind of go dead-faced, and I just sit there and stare. You can see it on some of the lives when we're having to review some videos, and I'm sitting there just totally done. Like, and that's pretty much what my face looks like during tests, during finals. So I always wear a mask during finals because I like to read my questions out loud to myself because it helps slow me down. So I read all questions 3 times each, pick my answer, and then I read it again, then click next. I flag no questions. I never go back. The only time I've gone back, and it wasn't because I didn't flag a question to change it. I just never answered the question because it was a formula I knew, but I couldn't remember it. So I didn't want to guess, and it'll let you know before you submit the test if that you flag a question. And I finished in plenty of time. And then I think sometime like in the last 10 questions, I'm like, that's the formula. And I went back. That's the only time. Never change your answers. Never. Unless you have an epiphany from like 5 of the 6 major religions all at the same time, do not change your answers. Because in nursing school, it is not about the right answer. It's a select all that apply thing sometimes. Or you'll get 5 answers, and all 5 of them are actually right. But which one is the most right? Fuck. So you'll be sitting in your test, and you're like, oh, I know this thing. And you've taught yourself the top 3 things you need to do in order when you walk into the room if you see this, X thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 4, 5, and 6 things, you're like, if they come up, I'll know what to do. So your test comes, and you're like, here's I know the subject. And it says the nurse does this, this, and this. And you're like, fuck. And then the other 4 or 5 options are 5 things that are like, all 5 are right answers, but what order? But it's not asking you which order. It just wants you to know the next one. After you've already done the 2, 3, 4 things you've taught yourself, and you're like, what else is there? The level of and I don't even panic during tests. You're just kind of like dead face. I can talk about it now because it's over. But I was not laughing any time between, would you say, January 18th and May 10th? I don't think my sense of humor with school was intact at all. If I was laughing, it was like a homicidal, stabby kind of humor. It wasn't good. It was not good. I will admit it. I was a terror. Like, But I also tell people that, like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to interact, and if you try to force me to, and then try to console me with platitudes, oh my god, my detachment issues kick right in, because I'm way too detached to be like to be consoled by platitudes. I just don't want to fucking hear it, and no
Yeah.
nursing student does. I think you learned that like the first week of being my friend 5 years ago. Oh, it's gonna work itself out. Yeah, because that's how linear time works, right? Good, thank you. Do you want? What was the next one in that Susie Q handbook of yours? You know, Nurse Matt. But you know, it's so weird. Like when well, it's not weird at all. When I'm with my patients, so it's very different. Like I really like helping them and caring for them, and it just kicks on because whether it's their fault or not that they're there, I don't care. I don't have to worry about that. I'm not there to judge. I just do what I do, and it's kind of like the Disney switch. Like it just kicks on, even if I don't feel good, even if I'm not having a good day. It just some of that I think is age, an adult, and then the rest I think is trauma, and then being forced to perform and react what's considered socially appropriate until I do the right thing. And then, but for nursing, it's just there's no script. There's no. I could say one thing to you, and then walk into Joseph's room, say that, and he'd be like, "Get the out of this room." And it's like, "Oh, sorry, Joseph. I'm gonna start calling you Farmer Matt." It's actually more like Farmer Cody. I don't. I just have two cats right now. Like I don't have. We don't. The yard doesn't have a flower. Well, it has some plants. And garden. Some herbs and some vegetables and stuff, but nothing crazy. Cody's got the well, he's got kind of like the everything going, and I hope I get to come out and see you this week or this week, this summer. Sorry, Cody, this summer. And speaking of, I've been dying to tell you this bitchy story from my sister. So y'all know I don't really have like that much of a relationship with my family, but the day after I finished school, my sister texted me out of nowhere, like FaceTimed me and everything about 3 weeks before school ended while I was studying at school one night.
Mm-hmm.
So we chatted a little bit, and per usual, within 5 minutes, she goes totally silent and stares at me. So the day after finals, I texted her. I was like, "Hey, thanks for calling the other day. It was nice to hear from you. I'm glad you're feeling better." And she starts making all these jokes. "Oh, you're free now. Yay, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Well, what I'm just saying is that I have more time to call. I can be more interactive and spend more time with you. Well, FaceTime at least." And, she'd been making all these jokes kind of dancing around the subject of actually having to interact with me. Because I know it's painful. I mean, I'm not, if you're a far-right evangelical, I am not the person you probably want to be related to. And then she goes, "I know what you meant." Making friends in the gene pool, Tis the rather shallow end, I must say.
That's great.
I'm like, so I have I don't like to quote Margaret Cho very often, but she did a show a long time ago, and one of her things was I think it was some group she got invited to perform for. Again, a very conservative group. It was like they didn't even like ask who she was, because why on God's earth, if you're a far right group, would you have Margaret Cho perform for you? But this had to have been 10 plus years ago now, and they were being jerks, and she's like, and I have a thing. She's like, "If you don't like me, I'm gonna make you hate me." Now, generally, I do not get that petty. I do not let things like Twitter doesn't get under my skin. Nothing like that. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But family, if you want to be petty with me, I will transform from Matthew into Petty Ann, and I am here, and I will not go away. Like a persistent cold or the Epstein-Barr virus. I will go dormant, but I will come back for you. Not forget, I will be back. I will, like a rough cough. Oh yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, and I just think, I just want to remind everyone that if you ever think that I'm not capable of being a giant asshole, you have to remember that before I had a guardian ad litem and beat my parents in court, I was still going to win. The guardian ad litem is because a child shouldn't go to court alone. I was going. and I still won every court case against them from 10 to 15 until I won completely the right to stay with my grandparents. So nothing else any of you fucks say bother me when I refer to my family. So it's just like...
And guys, if you have no idea what's going on and you're listening to this,
I know, it
listening
sounds
to the
so out of
replay,
context. It sounds
go
like a
back and there's 2 episodes where we talk about this. One near the end of 2021, like November, December. I believe we have an update on that. Otherwise, go back to the spring of 2020.
I really would like to do a slideshow version where we kind of like have it behind us, and I can be like, okay, here's the tree, you know, where it's nice and concise. Because I think when I say it verbally, it just sounds so confusing and traumatic. And I guess it is traumatic for people that have had a normal life and don't really know how to handle stress. But for me, it's normal. So I'm not really traumatized by it in the sense of it makes me hide. It just sort of means I'm less bothered when people, like, you know, don't want to be a part of my life or don't want me a part of theirs, etc. And I'm like, okay, but family's different. They have spent a very long time reminding me of how different I am, why I'm wrong, and all those things. So if you're going to be an abomination, you need to be the most beautiful abomination you can ever imagine. Even if they're too fucking cowardly to say it. But honestly, I find that me being me is usually plenty to irritate. I don't even have to go out of my way to irritate them. I mean, you guys can probably listen to like 4 years of recordings Cody and I have and understand like why. Like when people are like, I only have a small group of friends because that's how I like it. I'm like, you might have a small group of friends because that's how everyone else likes it. I'm aware of that about myself. While I function better in small groups because overstimulation and, you're in the group of 20 people at Disney World and nobody's having fun, break it off and meet up for lunch. And even then, maybe groups of 5. But for me, I know what I'm like. And the more I'm pushed into situations I don't want to be in because I'm not 10, I will flat out say, I'm not doing that. Nope. And I'll do that at work too, because we're adults. Yay. Yeah, I'm really fun. But I will always continue to rail against, unsafe working conditions for myself and my coworkers, because if you have unsafe working conditions for yourself, that means you have unsafe working conditions for the people you're caring for, whether that's a patient or a customer in a store, So my personality, it really is full circle, Yeah.
So I've been getting a clip real quick. I feel like if we had a ton of money ever one time and we tell your story or your life story, Matt, I don't know if you know, there's this guy on Dateline.
Okay.
His name is Keith Morrison. And I feel like his voice is the perfect voice to narrate the drama of your life. And so here's like a little clip of what he sounds like.
You're so excited about this.
You may think you've heard all the nursery rhymes, but have you ever heard the story of the 3 bears and the case of the overnight oats? You will.
Joseph, the fun thing about growing up gay like us is we can summarize it in bullet points on Twitter. Absolutely. That is absolutely true. And when you're a plant gay, there's no going back. That is also true because I have watched many people become plant gays over the last several years, and they have definitely not gone back. But you know what? The oxygen in their house is probably cleaner. And Cody, I totally love that. Who do you think, who would play me? Who would play me in my biography? And if you say Scarlett Johansson, I will fly to San Diego and I will be there by morning.
Tilda Swinton.
I could be so honored.
Do y'all agree? Tilda Swinton. Narrated by Keith Morrison.
Oh god. I just had the vision of it and everything.
I'm gonna have a surprise. I'm not gonna even. I was gonna say something, but it's going to be a surprise and it will happen in the future.
Who would play you in my because in my biopic, all of you guys would be present because my personality consists of apparently the Coma cast, my husband, and my cats, and somewhere left is some homo me, and so who would play who would play you? I want to see Pete
I don't
Davidson
know.
play you, Matt.
It's hard for me
flattered
to
if
judge for myself.
I mean, yeah, the autoimmune disease fits, and I mean, I don't have a giant dick, but maybe he could put some pep in my step, if he was playing me. David, I'm just picturing it. Like he wouldn't even need because I believe he has Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. I know he has one of them, and that's the same. It's in a similar family of autoimmune disease. It tends to give people like the darker circles under their eyes and things like that, which I have. You just kind of can't see it right now because thanks to sunscreen and slightly dull yellow lighting. It's highly effective about that. But Cody, who would you want to play you if you had a choice? Do you know who I think could play you? I don't know what he looks like now, but Gods of Egypt era, the guy that played the male lead.
So I don't know what era of my life this person would play or what point in time, because he would have to go back in his life when he was younger. But I would say like not Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller.
I did not. Zoolander era.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I do have a photo, one of my headshots, and everyone always thought that I looked similar-esque to Ben Stiller in a certain period of his life, and my headshot was kind of that period of time.
Headshot?
Do what?
You have this headshot available?
I don't think I used to have it in here, but I think I moved it.
And Quinn says Halle Berry should play Luna. If we're not listening, if you don't know us very well, Luna's my cat. Catwoman redemption arc. Though, oh no, it wasn't Halle Berry. It was Michelle Pfeiffer. When she, in the early Catwoman movies where she uses the whip scene, she did that in one take. Like that was really her using the whip.
Not impressive, in my opinion, when you hear this story. So in the original Batman, we had I'm
Brendan Thwaites. That's his name as Batman.
Oh, okay. I would go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer. What? So there's a scene in the Batman, or the original Batman. I don't want to say the Batman. That's the new one. But where there's like a little bird in a cage, okay. And I believe she puts it in her mouth. She actually did that in real life. That's no movie magic or anything. Yeah, but she put it in her mouth, and if you watch, the scene goes on a little bit, and the bird is just sitting in her mouth.
Interesting. Well. Well, all right.
Also, breaking news, when we're talking about Pete Davidson, he is not going to be on SNL anymore. His last episode is tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. He actually has been really busy with movies and TV projects. If anybody who watches, he basically wasn't there in February, and so I guess he made the decision to.
I didn't know he was leaving SNL. I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck on Pete Davidson playing me in my own biopic. Do you think are we looking at like a high budget one, or am I going to be mad about the cleft lip scars? like how bad are we talking here? Obviously, he signed on to play. See, that's why he left SNL. He signed on to play Matt in a movie no one has told us about.
No one's told us.
We're gonna. Who would play David?
So I don't know if anybody here has been on TikTok, but and Twitter, I guess, but I've seen them a lot on TikTok. There's these two gay twins. I don't know who you know who I'm talking about, but for some reason, every time I see them, I'm always reminded of David. Every time.
Okay. Well, text me after about this. We're gonna have to look into this. Yeah. Let's see.
They also do happen to be porn stars.
And then also, I think. Oh, I know who I want to play my ex-girlfriend. Mila Kunis. Perfect. Casting dead on. And then let's see. Well, I don't know. I can't imagine who would play my family members. I just can't with that. Actually, we could probably cast people for my family members, and at the rate my family tree has like the twist is taken, find out they're actually my family. So maybe not. So that's been fun.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up a photo. First of all, I can't do what I normally do because I'm in Safari, and apparently this program doesn't
hold up the picture.
This program doesn't work, so that I can easily show off people. Okay. I don't know if it's even going to, because I also don't have a normal camera. No, I can't.
That's not what I thought you were going to show us.
I can't show you close up. That's unfortunate.
Well, just take a screenshot and text it to me, and I'll tell you.
Actually, let's see. I might can do this.
So I posted a throwback picture today from like the vault, or it was either yesterday or today. And did you see it, Cody?
I've not.
So I think it's my most recent post, but it's me 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So I was 25 in that picture. It was taken in August of 2011. I was 25 years old in that picture. And like, it's very funny, the reactions of people. And there's a couple people that follow me, and well, and of course my husband, who knew me when I looked like that. And I'm like, you guys, I'm still the same person. Cody, you should go look real quick because
okay.
You know, because the comments were funny. The texts were even funnier. Let's see.
Of course. Basically, I have not used this computer to do a show in quite some time. Like,
is this the one that
we've talked? We've had 2 or 3 shows live, but we've not really shown a lot of stuff. We've talked, but in the past, I show a lot of stuff: clips, videos, pictures, everything. Yeah. But I'm signed out of everything, and like, it doesn't even remember my username for Twitter.
That's very frustrating. The lives kind of became more of like almost like downtime because I don't want to say it was becoming too much like work, but it was becoming too much like work to put in research time because I don't like to half-ass things. And poor Cody, every time he's like, oh, I have this weird ass thing from far out of nowhere to start talking about. I'm like, oh, I know about that. I read that story and a supporting article and I can talk about this. And I could just see you wanting to like throw your laptop out the window. You're like, why do you know this shit? Are you looking up the...
Yeah, I'm having to delete something.
But Joseph, Cody missed out not seeing this. And Jay says, yes, Mila. And also this turned many corners. It did turn many corners. The casting of my biopic, you know, is it required to put Jennifer Lawrence in it? You know.
Okay, so this is again who I think would play David. I guess it could be either one, you know, because they're twins.
Oh my God, I see what you mean.
There's just a slight little resemblance.
No, I can see. Oh my God, I see what you mean by that. Like, I can see. This is like uncanny.
Okay, let's see. We'll go.
What's funny is since David is a twin, we can use both of them.
You know, there's David, everybody, and then, like, right?
You had to pick that picture.
What else do I got over here?
No, don't please. Oh God. Why? Where
No,
are you
no,
pulling
this one.
these from?
This one. I have files. Everybody.
Why?
And then
These are pictures
have...
I've sent you, Cody. These are not publicly posted. That one is. Oh my God, that is from 2009.
These ones are, because you did a whole post about y'all being together.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, wait. Oh my God, I hate you so much.
Y'all, this is Trade Matt.
Stop. I sent you that picture being like, because you're like, you look like Trade when you wear your hat backwards. So I send you whatever I have my hat on. I'll take a backwards picture and send it to Cody and be like, oh, Trade Matt's here today.
Quinn, I've seen them in a video before. Yeah. Good videos, I think. I mean, they obviously on anything I've seen posted that they've done, whether it's any of their videos, pictures or TikToks, they tease that line of making out, but they never actually go to that line.
Oh.
But in private they do. But other than that, they just like share other guys.
I was gonna say, well, both of them can technically be cast in the biopic because remember, David is a twin, but one of them will have to pretend to be straight, and will have to dye their hair blonde because his twin is like the blonde hair, blue eyed version of David. It's something because they're not identical, but they're the same height, same build, same like look. But wow, talk about irrationality.
Quinn, do you give them thumbs up for their videos?
Joseph, the fun thing is that Matt and I go back far enough on Twitter that these pictures are not unknown to me. So, trivia, Joseph was one of my very, 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 very first mutuals. Like when I returned to Twitter in 2016, I actually, Joseph, I think followed me first, and I followed back, and he probably one of my first 10 followers. And I do actually know the mutuals I interact with pretty well. I keep an eye on that because you talk about things with people, you share things with people, so I'm aware. I just seem like a reckless loose cannon, but not really. Let's see. Here's a story. This is good. Uh-oh, wait. Am I to tell the story, or are you about to are you about to tell me something, or am I talking about myself?
Oh, also breaking news, everybody, this week is the Mexican pizza's back.
I don't know what I thought you were about to say when you said the Mexican, but I was like, oh God, Cody, please not today. I'm not ready for this. It will be
the Mexican's back.
It'll be, yeah, Cody's back.
I'm watching. I don't know. I would also recommend everybody Ozark on Netflix. If you've not seen it, watch Ozark. It's really good, especially if you like Breaking Bad. You're gonna like this show. It's super, super good. But anyway, there's this like
Mexican pizza already.
Do what?
I already had a Mexican pizza. I went the night before because in some places they came back a little early, and I got there and like, oh, ours come back tomorrow. I was like, damn. So I got food anyway because I was already there. And then I went back the next day for lunch and got a Mexican pizza. And so did David.
Yeah, I saw that. I had the app, and so you could get it early. And so I did that on.
You bastard!
What day did I do that on? I did it on Monday, I think.
We went Wednesday. No, wait. I don't know what day it is anymore. We went Wednesday. It came back yesterday. We went Wednesday. We went to Taco Bell Wednesday and Thursday, but Thursday was when it officially came back, I guess, nationwide.
So Monday I had Taco Bell. Okay, because Justin's out of town, so I wasn't really making anything. Monday I had Taco Bell, whatever. Then I was like, saw the app. Oh, if you have the app, you can get it early. And so that was Tuesday. So I was like, well, I have to go. So I went and got Taco Bell again Tuesday. Then yesterday I actually did make something at the house. And then yesterday I was like, I want another Mexican pizza. So I went back. So Justin asked, what did I eat this while he was gone? He's been gone since Monday. He came back today. And I started thinking, I was like, oh. So basically, the entire time you were gone, I only ate Taco Bell because I eat cereal in the morning. I don't eat lunch, and then in the evening I eat something.
So
but basically,
eating like a top is what I'm hearing.
So basically, I ate Taco Bell most of the time that he was gone, except for the one day. I was like, oh, that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad. So anyway, on Ozark, real quick, it's like these two like rednecks who live in Missouri. I'm not going to tell you they're integral to the story. But anyway, it involves drugs and a drug cartel, which they go to these two rednecks in the area, and the old woman on the show constantly is like, ugh, those Mexicans, and just like really derogatory to them. But I'm just like, it is like so well played because those people exist. But anyway, go watch Ozark if you like TV, like really, really good TV. And if you like Breaking Bad kind of thing, you'll like Ozark. I am honestly mad that I didn't watch it when it was like concurrent. The last season 4, just came on Netflix, and Justin had been watching it in the mornings, and I just caught clips of it, and I got hooked. And so all while he's been gone, I like went from episode 1, and now I'm into the middle or end of season 3. So like,
I've been trying to fix so many things, but when school hits, I just kind of usually by week 5 or 6 of a semester, especially since I've been in nursing school, I can't focus on anything else. So if I have a game or something if I want to disconnect, I can't even play a new game. I have to go do something that I've done 1,000 times. So because I'm trying to kill a little time, but I'm trying to disconnect my brain from what I've been doing. But if I throw myself into a new series, a new book, a new game, something like that, I'll take it too far and I'll lose track of time. I can't really do that on during the semesters. So I'm super excited to be able to work a bit better at trying new things.
Also, another season of Upload was renewed.
Yes, I heard. I can't wait to watch that. The only thing I've done different is I painted this picture, Cody. Now, you can probably see it in the back behind me. This is all my pictures there. From far away, I don't hate it. But I'm not an expert enough to know what I did wrong because for some reason, none of the paint was mixing. That picture is a mutual posted. It got lost in the shuffle. I managed to screenshot most of it like before the screen flipped away. But somebody posted a picture of a random flower behind their house. And I thought it was pretty, so I wanted to try to recreate it. I was not successful. From far away, I think it is. It's not so bad. But for some reason, the canvas just kept sucking up the paint, even when I was using water to dilute it and trying to gently blend it. But I am not artistic enough. I'm like, damn, I'm ready to take a picture of it and then Photoshop it into what I want myself. I think from far away, it doesn't look bad.
Okay. From close up, it looks like a lily kind of flower.
Mm-hmm.
Far away, it kind of looks like a vagina.
Is that not another kind of flower?
It does bloom.
I hate you so much. So Joseph, a farmer and an artist, what can you not do? So I don't know if artist is the right word, but I like everything, and I think it's a very ADHD trait.
Okay.
So go ahead.
This is not necessarily going to be in your wheelhouse, but I want at some point this summer, I want you to attempt. I'm going to send you a picture.
Okay.
And I'm going to want you to attempt to paint me.
I've only painted one person.
Because I want this.
So this is the only time I painted a human with any effort. And
yeah,
it was
it won't be a silhouette. It's going to be like full on front face. And
come on. I can't even draw stick figures. You know how hard this is for me?
No, but I know I want it because I think it's going to be so amazing.
You and I have very different definitions of amazing.
And I will literally hang it up. I will literally hang up this photo, everybody.
So the only thing I've ever successfully recreated is I took a picture a classmate had. She had like that clear tape of a picture of like flowers and trees and stuff on the back of her MacBook Pro, which are silver. So I asked her if I could take a picture of it to turn it into a painting because I wanted to try to paint it. And this is what I turned it into. It's not clouds. This is my rendition of her back of her computer. And it just kind of worked out. But this is probably one of my favorites, but it's not original. It's just I saw something and I wanted to make it my own. So I painted it. How I did it was I just started watching YouTube and try to teach myself how to recreate it. I started teaching myself in the way that I learned to speak because I didn't learn to speak like most people because of all this. And so instead of trying to apply new things or things I already knew, I just went for direct memorization, I guess, essentially, like the equivalent of rote memorization. And then once I got comfortable with that, that's when I started feeling comfortable, moving things around and kind of doing things. It's weird because it's like, of course I can tear it up, move it around, make a mess because it's mine. But I'm also the one that pays for the paints and canvases and things like that. So, so there's also that. Cody, I will, of course, if that's what you want me to do, I will, of course, attempt to do that for you.
As Joseph says, like a French girl.
I mean, if you want an excuse to text me your dick, I mean, it's not like you haven't before. I mean, we're going to go ahead and like throw me under a bus. Let's go ahead and go all the way. And yes, Joseph would have remembered my account. When I came back, I was semi-anon on Twitter because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to actually use this account. And when I posted, of course, I immediately came up in a bunch of people's contacts because settings, it takes a minute to get all your settings set up and all of that. So everything, like I got like friend requests from cousins and relatives, and I was like, blockity, block, 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 block. And then I went, no, you will not be searchable. And now I think my account is going to probably permanently stay private. It's just way easier. No bot follows. And I've been slowly weeding out the bots anyway. And also people that came, they stayed for the original thirst trap and then, or they came for the original one of the thirst traps and then stuck around and was like, wow, no. Now they're realizing they leave. Joseph, I'm just here to say things and get things going. That's fun. Early on, we used to do a live thing on Sunday nights where it was kind of like Coma Cast After Dark. That was frustrating. That got frustrating real quick because people sometimes don't have manners and forget themselves. And I was like, all right, like that's not happening. That's going away quickly. And then we played games and stuff though, which was really funny. And but yeah, I did have fun with it, but we have to plan games a little better. But also it was in the middle of lockdowns and COVID, so none of us could really do anything except sit at home and eat. And I did that. Quite a bit. Yeah. But,
well, everybody, we are almost at an hour. Normally we start at 5 o'clock, but Matt,
7 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna do the time zone situation because we know I'm.
No, we don't do that anymore because there's a couple times you did it. I got text messages like, I thought you guys started in an hour. And I don't know if you ever watched Family Guy, but there's this character Jillian that Brian dates, who's a total airhead for the longest time. And she's like, what's 8, 9, Central Time or whatever? And it was like, or Pacific Time. She goes, it means it starts specifically at 8, and that's just what you reminded me of when you're like, oh yeah, my time. So like 2 a.m. Tuesday for you guys.
If you watch any kind of like broadcast TV, and I think also like say it on Hulu and that kind of thing, but it'll always be like 7, 8 Central. That is like the main time that is used in like broadcast and television to tell people when things are happening. And so I lived in the Central Time Zone for all my basic whole life. And then now I'm in the Pacific time zone, which kind of gets screwed for live events because live events always come on for prime time for East and Central Coast. But the West Coast, it's still so early in the day. So like when things are happening live for East and Central, it's like the afternoon, late afternoon in California. But yes, so we normally do this. I will only say my time zone because it is the only time zone that actually matters. 5 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock California time.
You know, I know you're a native Texan, but you have the like ego of somebody raised in New York and California by millionaire parents. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God, what a compliment.
I mean, and you're like, and somehow you're doing like the whole Benjamin Button aging backwards over there.
I know. Everyone, Matt always says this. Ever since I moved to California, it seems like I'm aging backwards.
I think it's your
California.
But guess what next week is, Cody? You really don't know?
What do you mean, like next week? A certain day?
Yeah.
Or like the whole week?
Something during the week.
Are you turning a year older?
Maybe. I don't know. You want to cut off my arm and count the rings or something, you asshole?
No, we have to cut something else off to count the rings.
Okay. You gonna enter your top era?
That's where I'm at, right? Keith, is he already making sure everybody knows it's his birthday?
No, I don't care.
Mentioning it every time he walks into the room. By the way, my birthday next week.
I should have like a huge counter, like where each day I walk in, like rip off like a big piece of paper, so it's like a countdown.
They had that. So I go to Home Depot a lot, basically. Home Depot and the garden store.
You have it for Christmas, don't you?
Do what?
You have it for Christmas, don't you?
I do have a countdown for Christmas. I don't have it now, but
see, I know him.
So when you walk in the store at Home Depot, they have one of those big like notepad kind of like things that you rip it off, basically like you're saying. But it's been a countdown to their birthday because the store was established today, actually, like 25 years ago or something. But there's been a countdown to that. Every time I walk in, I'm like, this is just weird. Like, they say there's going to be good deals. I don't know what the deals were unless they're going to give me some discounts on paint or plants. That's what paint, plants, or wood.
This must be a difficult time for you since that's probably not happening.
Yeah.
I'll give you space in your time of mourning.
Every time I go to the garden store, I'm buying something. Every time. Y'all, this is how we ended up with a lot of trees.
With you.
So let's we're gonna do a real quick highlight.
Oh.
We're gonna do I was seeing. Justin was outside. So we're gonna do real quick. This is what I have as far as the garden currently right now of everything that I've collected because I keep buying things. I have to go from one side of the yard to the other because I can't remember everything.
By the way,
so
it is absolutely beautiful.
We have an apricot tree. Well, we'll skip the trees until the end. I have potatoes, blackberries, dragon fruit, boysenberry, kiwi, blueberries. Okay, and now we're in the garden area. So then I have chard, carrots, garlic, onion, turnips, radishes, green beans, black beans, zucchini, yellow crookneck squash, cantaloupe, watermelon, 3 different colors like mint, green, pink, and orange, tomatoes, basically every single herb you can think of, rosemary, dill, basil, etc. Go on, everything there. Lavender.
No, okay. Joseph, I wasn't kidding. He literally is Farmer Cody.
Like, then we'll go the trees. The trees now. Apricot tree, pink lemonade tree, navel orange, lime tree, grapefruit tree, Meyer lemon, apple tree, oh my god, I'm going blank on what trees I have. Mango, almonds, cherry, plums,
I love cherry.
prune, not prunes. What is that?
Man, your 30s are hitting hard, aren't they, Cody?
Oh my god, I can't think of the other two. Pomegranate. And then there's two more, and I can't think of what they are. Oh, and then I also have a peach tree. I think that's it. And grapes, lots of grapevines. I was regular eating table grapes and wine grapes.
Yeah, and I'm over here.
And a sour orange. Sour orange tree. And another orange tree. I have
Cody
3 orange
eats
trees.
A lot of oranges. A lot. I mean, a lot of oranges. It's a Cody thing. See,
yeah,
Cody really is Farmer Cody. I give Cody lots of hell, but you like if you're newer to our channel, you haven't watched this for a really long time. When you see the work when he does post it, it's absolutely stunning. And his life is dedicated to his girls, his chickens, and
the chickens,
and the whole family. And especially when the holidays come around and everything's decorated, I cannot wait to see how you decorate the new and improved Oasis of Cody and Justin. Come, let's see, Christmas is in December, so in August when you start decorating, I cannot wait to see how it turns out. I'm not kidding. I know those throw pillars are showing up September 1st.
Hey, remember you had Christmas out this year before I did.
I did, and it was up after. We had the tree. We took off all the decorations, but I like the tree and the lights up as extra, just a soft ambient lighting, because it does get, people don't realize it's cold and gray here for and I don't mean cold like frigid, but I mean like 45, 50 and rainy. So just enough to be uncomfortable, and it can be just gridiron gray outside for like a month or two straight. So having that just kind of soft light to kind of break up the day a little bit, it's nice, and it's something green and cheerful to look at. Excuse me. Apparently the water is, the spicy water here. Shouldn't have had them steamed carrots earlier, as David would say.
Well, everybody, we have went past the hour mark. Thank all of you for joining us for this episode. We'll probably be back again next Friday.
I think I work next Friday. I don't know. I work days and nights. In the next week or two, I'll be working night shifts, so we will try to be back.
We'll keep you updated.
Probably.
And we'll do something. But again, everyone, thank you for joining us for this live episode. New episodes of the podcast every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts, and we are the number 4 podcast according to some
we are
list, that a newsworthy talk show. So
I know,
we're not
I can't believe that's so funny.
Anyway, y'all, thank y'all, and have a great weekend. I'm gonna go get a burrito. Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna also go eat. Bye. Thanks for joining.